So your attention, please. Great turnout this morning. Thank you for coming out. For those who have never been to a meeting, I'm Inspector Kevin Williams, the commanding officer of the 2nd Precinct. We've had some changes in the precinct. We have a new deputy inspector and a new captain, and they're standing right next to me. So I'm just going to ask them to introduce themselves to you and give a little bio on their history on the job. So take it away, Mike.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Teplansky. I am a 32-year veteran of the Suffolk County Police Department. My last assignment was as the captain on the command staff operations officer in the 3rd Precinct, just south of here. I've had a great career. Although I'm a new deputy inspector, I'm not new to this precinct. There's a lot of people who, familiar faces in the room. I was here for 4 years as a patrol lieutenant and as a crime section lieutenant, so I ran a lot of the special events in the precinct. I actually worked with Kyle. He'll tell you a little bit about himself, but so I'm happy to be back. I've been in every precinct with the exception of the 1st and the 7th. After I left here, I was a detective lieutenant in the 6th Squad out in Selden, Centereach area. Then I got promoted to captain, went to the 3rd, and then I was fortunate enough to get promoted and come back here. I'm very familiar with the community, a lot of the concerns. I'm looking forward to working with everybody again. I love this precinct. I love the community here. This is an active community, and I welcome that. We have a lot of great cops, a lot of great bosses here, and a lot of great community members. So I'm very accessible. I have my email. It's the same as what inspectors would be, just my name. And you could always reach out to me, and I'll do my best to respond. That's how I feel. If we address things initially, then we don't have problems later on. So very accessible, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. And thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Kyle Simcox. I just got promoted captain, yesterday. So I'm happy. I have 25 years in law enforcement, 6 years with the NYPD. I came out here, I was working in the 1st Precinct in West Babylon, did that for 10 years. Got promoted sergeant, came to the 2nd Precinct where I worked with these 2 gentlemen. I'm happy to be reunited with them. As a lieutenant, I was in the 1st Precinct. I also did a brief stint in internal affairs, and as these 2 gentlemen said, we're accessible and we're here for you. So, thank you.
Okay, so like we do every meeting, I'd like to bring some of the officers up to introduce themselves to the community. So if you guys could come up. You can go right here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Officer Tridar. I'm with the Community Support Unit. I was caught in this unit about 2 months ago. I'm excited to work with all you guys.
Welcome.
Hello everybody, I'm Officer Napolitano. I'm fairly new to the job, new to the 2nd Precinct. I'm very grateful to be here and look forward to working with you. Appreciate it.
How you doing, Officer Nestor? Just graduated Academy of Napolitano. Excited to be here.
Awesome.
Morning, Sergeant Mike Casey, 2nd Precinct Community Support Unit.
Morning, Rob Jinks, 2nd Precinct SRO.
Good morning, Brittany Sierra Terra. I'm the other 2nd Precinct School Resource Officer.
Good morning, Officer Elizabeth Dowdy, sometimes not allowed, and I am the 2nd Precinct Code Officer.
Thank you. As the deputy inspector was saying, we have a lot of great officers in this precinct, and I'm blessed to have them, as I am to have these 2 gentlemen back. They got quite a bit of police experience, and it's going to make my job a lot easier. And they are dedicated to the 2nd Precinct. They were very happy to come back, so we're fortunate for that. I know there are some representatives from some of our elected officials, someone from Tom Donnelly's office, Bontempi's office, so just so you know there, and we have someone from Greenlawn Civic Association. I couldn't hear you? Oh, Congresswoman Lotus, okay. So thank you. Steve Stern too? Okay. As always, thank you for attending the meeting. So we're going to get into some crime stats right now. This is our index crimes year to date. So as you look, there's a lot of negatives up there. That's very good. I'm happy about that. No murders this year. That's good. Robberies, we're down from 7 in 24 to 3, so we're down 57%. That's real good. Assaults, we're down also from 29 to 25, 13%. Residential burglaries down substantially from 14 in 2024 to 5 in 25. So that's down a lot. That's very good. I'm happy about that. Commercial burglaries were even at 8 last year, and 8 this year. Larcenies down just slightly from 454 to 425. And vehicle thefts just down very little bit, just 1, so 15 to 14. So overall, the year-to-date crime numbers look pretty good in this precinct, and I give the credit to the officers out there that are doing the job.
Do we have to ask questions?
We'll take questions at the end if you don't mind. Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is index crimes monthly, so from, compared last month to the month before. So in April, again in March, nobody was killed. That's very good. Robberies, we didn't have any robberies, which is really good. Assaults, we were down in April from 8 in March. We had 5, so we're down a little bit there. Residential burglaries, we were up. We had 2 in April, just 1 in March. And then commercial burglaries, we had 1 in April and we had 2 in March, so we're down a little bit there. And then larcenies, we were down for April, 110 as opposed to 121 in March. So again, down a lot of numbers in the negative, which is good. And then vehicle thefts, down just 1 from 3 in March and 2 to April. So the numbers look good overall for the community. Very happy to report them. And we'll move on to some of the things that we did in the precinct this month. We'll go over some of the crimes. We'll go over some of these, some other things that we took care of. So search warrant, and second precinct detectives executed a search warrant on Weston Street in Huntington Station. 1 subject was arrested and charged with 3 felony drug counts. We did have a lot of neighborhood complaints on this location. So we did a big investigation, surveillance and everything, and they wound up doing this search warrant. They got enough information to make a search warrant. And crack cocaine, money, and a digital scale were seized on this. So it was a nice job, took a lot of investigation, but they were able to get a search warrant for that location. A couple of drug arrests by our anti-crime team. I talk about the anti-crime team a lot. We got some really good officers in there. They do a tremendous job, pretty aggressive. I'm happy for that because they take a lot of bad guys off the street. So this is on Wednesday, April 2nd. They were conducting surveillance on a known drug location in Huntington Station. A vehicle left that location and the officers stopped that vehicle. It was occupied by 2 people. They conducted a vehicle stop and they discovered a small amount of cocaine in the vehicle. Okay, so they arrested both subjects. When they brought them into the precinct and did a search, they wound up coming up with a lot more drugs. So they had numerous baggies containing cocaine, and they were both charged with felony drug possession and intent to sell cocaine. That's just on a car stop. So that's good work. And then on Friday, April 11th, same crew, anti-crime officers stopped the vehicle. They discovered that the 3 occupants were in possession of cocaine and methamphetamine. So they arrested those subjects and they were all charged with felony possession. So there's some methamphetamine out there along with cocaine. This was some fragrance larcenies. We were having a problem in this, Walt Whitman Mall with fragrance larcenies. This is kind of a common theft that occurs. They go into these fragrance shops and they just basically clear off the whole shelf. That's why so many things are locked up now. And when you go shopping, you're like, why is everything locked up? Well, because they have these teams that come into these stores and they just take a lot of inventory. So we got some complaints from the mall. So I think it was Sergeant Casey in the back, put on plain clothes and we set up a surveillance on the mall. And lo and behold, in in the parking lot. They stopped the vehicle, and when they were looking into the vehicle, they saw that there were a lot of fragrance bottles unexplained in the vehicle. When they were asked, the occupants didn't have a good explanation, so why they were carrying around so much perfume. Anyway, they spoke with the officers that were inside the mall, who had were just notified that a larceny had just occurred in the mall. So they did a little conversation back and forth, and they were able to identify that the people in the vehicle that was stopped were the same people that had just committed the larceny. So great job by Sergeant Casey in the back and his team. You know, the mall's a big part of what we do in this precinct. We like to keep it kind of nice, and we try and discourage thefts from there, so we work pretty closely with the security there, and we do a lot of work over there. We do some surveillance, and we do a lot of walkthroughs, and the guys are in the parking lot a lot, so the officers are doing a great job out there, and we like to take care of them all. This was a reckless endangerment first. This is quite concerning. It was very concerning to me when I heard about it. This was Friday, April 11th, about 3:30 in the morning. So we have ShotSpotter in the precinct, and I've explained what ShotSpotter is in past meetings. So if you don't know what ShotSpotter is, basically there's these acoustical receptors that are set up around through Huntington Station, kind of in a big circle in a certain area around Huntington Station, where we've had, you know, some gun incidents in the past. So the ShotSpotter is an outside company that sets up this, it's like a whole setup that it could actually, these acoustic receptors, they detect gunshots, and they take the sounds from those receptors and they send them into a computer program, and the officers in the car have a screen, and it comes up and it'll tell you exactly where those gunshots were to within like 10, 15 feet. And so the officer will be dispatched there, and they will look for either shell casings or victims or what have you. So that's what ShotSpotter is. So on this night, we got a ShotSpotter alert at this location, New York Avenue and East 15th Street. And they discovered a car that had struck a parked vehicle that was unoccupied. The guy left the scene. And then as they were searching that area, they found numerous shell casings on the ground over there. So they discovered 16 shell casings. So several parked vehicles in that location were struck by gunfire. Luckily, nobody was struck and no residents were struck. But it's quite concerning that this many gunshots went off in a residential location. I'll just say this, I can't get too detailed about the investigation, but our detectives are actively working on this, and they know. I question them like on a daily basis. What's the progress on this? So I would like this solved. I don't want to see this again. We haven't had this in a couple of years here in the precinct, but this is the first year in about 3 years where we had something like this. So I can assure you that I want this solved, and they're working hard on it. Okay, this was a burglary that occurred on April 2nd between 9:10 and 10:30 a.m. Coalport Drive in Huntington. Complainant reports an unknown suspect entered her residence through an unlocked door and stole jewelry worth almost $7,000. The complainant further reported later on that earlier in the day, her son realized someone had been in his car and stole some property out of the car in a driveway. So this is a recurrent theme. Those of you who are always at these meetings know I always speak about securing all your belongings, whether it's locking your house, even if you're in your backyard doing gardening or whatever, lock the front door, please, because we have people that wander around sometimes and just try doors. We know they wander around at night and try car doors, so try not to leave any property that's valuable in your cars. I talk to everybody that I know and say, you need to lock your car. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, leave their cars open in the driveway. Even if they're small change, they're going to try the doors. They get, they'll go up and they try the door, and if it's locked, they'll move on. So, this is just lesson learned. I hate to say it. They had a lot of property there that was taken, but the door was open, and I guess the guy went from the car, tried the house, found it open, nobody home, and they took the property. So just, try and remember to lock everything. Another burglary. This one occurred up by the mall, Waltman Road in Melville on the 26th. This is early in the morning, like a smash and grab. So complainant reports the suspect broke the front lock. So at this particular burglary, he disabled the lock to the front door. He entered the business and he took the cash register that only had about $30 in it. But sometimes they'll smash the door, other times they'll, jimmy the lock to get in. So this is a commercial burglary. Okay, a residential burglary on Tuesday the 29th, 11:20 a.m. to 2:40 p.m. That was the time frame on Fraser Drive in Greenlawn. The complainant reports family members returning home to find an interior garage door ajar. Okay, the garage and all bedrooms of the house were ransacked. Proceeds was money, U.S. currency. Again, I don't believe there was a forced entry here, so maybe either the side door or the garage door. Sometimes the garage, you got like a regular door, side door, might have been unlocked. Somebody came through, went into the house, ransacked the house, and in this case, got a substantial amount of money. Massage parlors, we get a lot of community complaints about massage parlors. So our crime section officers, the lieutenant's not here, but he runs these investigations, and they go into these massage parlors that are all over the town of Huntington. You name it, it's in some town. We constantly hit them. So these are a few that we did. This one was on April 9th. We work in conjunction with the Town of Huntington, the fire marshal, the building department. So they conducted an investigation. This was at Tranquil Spa, located at 165 Lockfield Road. This is actually like right next to the library over there. I don't know if you're familiar with the East Northfield Library. 2 women were arrested at the business. One was charged with unlawful practice of a profession, which is a felony, and prostitution, a misdemeanor. The other was charged with promoting prostitution and criminal nuisance, a misdemeanor. So the town also issued 6 code violation, and they're conducting further investigation into the business. Another massage parlor on April 17th. Same people were involved, the crime section, the Town of Huntington, the fire marshal. We thank them for their assistance. Conducted an investigation at the Sugar Pine Spa. This is at 953-8 New York Avenue in Huntington Station. And 3 people were arrested at the business. Same charges, unlawful practice of a profession and prostitution, and also criminal nuisance. And in this particular one, they only issued 4 code violations. The town issued 4 code violations to the owner of the business. And one more, massage parlors was the thing, I guess, for April 24th. Again, everybody that was involved, crime section, fire marshal, the building department. This one was at the Awesome Spa, located at 294 East Jericho Turnpike, Huntington Station. Again, 2 women were arrested, charged with unlawful practice of a profession, the felony, and prostitution. This time, 6 code violations were issued to the business. So we do the best we can, to investigate all the community complaints that come in. So if you see something, call us up and let us know. The site team. So the site team are highway patrol officers. Besides the expressway, they also work all over the county, and they come into the precinct several times a month, and they do a lot of moving violations. So we're happy that they come into the precinct to assist us, our officers, Sergeant Casey and his team, with enforcing traffic laws. We know it's a big part of what the community complains about, and it's a big part of what we do here in Suffolk County. So they come in a couple of times a month. So they were here on the 4th, the 17th, the 21st, and the 29th of April. They issued 163 summonses, and including 146 moving violations and 17 non-moving violations. And those are some of the places, so if you live around some of these roads, a lot of times, many of the complaints that I get are certain roads, and so these are some of the ones. I usually pass that information on to them, and they will address it at these locations. So Wolf Hill, Jericho, Spring Road, Seaman Neck Road, Pine Lawn Road, Depot Road, and New York Avenue. So I appreciate them coming into the precinct to assist us. Just make a quick statement that in the 2nd precinct, our summons numbers happened to be up for the year, and I thank Sergeant Casey and actually all the officers in the precinct. We all do traffic enforcement, but Sergeant Casey and his team, that's kind of their specialty. And he's the one who, when I get complaints from the community, I kind of send him to those locations. So I thank them for what they do. But they're out there and they're stopping a lot of cars and trying to prevent all these violations. So they're doing a good job. Luckily, I can report that there were no fatal accidents in the precinct for April, which is a good thing. Okay, so these are the arrests we had in April for the precinct. 26 felony arrests, 69 misdemeanor arrests, 2 for assault, gang-related arrests. 2 gang members were arrested. 1 Crip for a warrant, and 1 Latin King for assault 3rd degree. 17 other arrests by the anti-crime team, that's kind of their specialty, focusing on gangs. So they did make other arrests, they just didn't happen to be gang members. Drug-related arrests in the precinct, 19 for the month of April. DWIs, 10, for a total of about 101 arrests in the precinct just for April. Domestic incidents and overdoses. So we respond to quite a few domestic incidents in the precinct. 156 in April we went to, 43 potentially criminal ones, 8 arrests so far. That doesn't mean the other ones are not going to have an arrest. It just means they're probably still under investigation. So we do go to a lot of domestic incidences. And then overdoses, we had 3 non-fatal, which is good. And the locations were Huntington, South Huntington, and Melville. No fatal overdoses. Those numbers have gone down significantly over the past several years, so that's good. Here's some of the shot spotter alerts that we got, okay? Saturday the 5th at 12:46 at 290 Depot Road, Huntington Station. Negative results on the search. So that means the officer went, he checked the location, he didn't find any shell casings, no victims. So it could have been a backfire of a car or somebody. Sometimes when they put those dumpsters down late at night, it makes a really loud noise. But we were dispatched there, and the officer didn't find anything. And then Friday, this was the reckless endangerment that I spoke about. You could see there, right around the same time, we got 4 different ones. Those were all the different locations, and that was from that reckless endangerment where all those gunshots went off that night. And then on Monday the 21st, we had another alert at 1259 New York Avenue, Huntington. This is 7:49 in the morning, and so nothing there. The officer went and he didn't find anything. Okay, so again, sometimes we do get some false ones, but you could see that it actually works because it worked with the gunshots. This is something I'm passionate about. I talk about every spring. Everybody, I don't know who out there has a pool, but these are some of the safety tips. I always tell this quick story. When I was a patrol officer, I responded to a call, and the woman, I think she was a nurse, she was out in the backyard. This is a long time ago. I'm going to age myself here. So she was outside the backyard. The pool was fenced. Everything was fine. She had the old this phone that, the cordless phone. So she got a phone call and she kind of got distracted and she was chatting on the phone. And while she was talking, she turned her back and her son went under the deep end and she had to jump in and pull him out. And so I responded to that call. Luckily, she was a nurse. She was able to revive him. We did take him to the hospital, but she said to me she was distraught. And she's like, I can't believe it. I never answered the phone. I never take my eyes off my kid. So I said, I know, it's not your fault, it's just a split second. So I try to get this pool safety tips out there because a lot of you have pools and you really got to pay attention. You can't get distracted. Everybody's on their cell phone today. But when you're by the pool, please, don't go on the phone. Basically, look, don't leave them unattended. Have some a life preserver around or a life ring to throw out there. No cell phone, no alcohol. If you're drinking, just have somebody that's dedicated to watching the pool. So anyway, this is for the summer for the safety tips. I just try to get there. It wouldn't hurt if you knew CPR either, something like that. But it's something to think about for the summer. And I'm going to say this real quick because summer's coming. 4th of July, fireworks. I'm looking for tips. So you don't have to say it now, but if you have something later, I would like to get a fireworks arrest here. We get so many complaints 4th of July about these crazy fireworks that people have. And if you see something, please let us know somehow. Anonymous call, whatever. I'd love to look into that. All right? Thanks. Okay, so we do this every month. Please lock the cars. Don't leave any, if you go shopping, you know, put it in the trunk. If you don't, leave it in the back seat, because they break right into cars. They're at the mall, it happens. And if you have cameras, that's great for us too. A lot of times we have crimes that, you know, that happen in the neighborhood. If we can get some footage on either the car or the person, it really helps us a lot. So if you have devices, let us know. These are just a reminder, gift cards. Anybody calls you and asks you for something and wants you to pay with gift cards, please remember, it's a scam, okay? There's a lot of check washing going on out there. If you don't know what that is, people are stealing checks out of the mail. Like you write a check to car insurance and put it in a mailbox, like one of these mailboxes on the street here. These guys go in there with these glue traps and they fish out the mail, and then they take the check and they change it, and you wind up looking at your checking account and go, well, I didn't write a check for $4,000, you know, whatever it was. So my suggestion is that when you write checks, that, you know, frequently check your account to make sure they clear. Like a lot of times you get the statement at the bank and you can see the check that it was cashed by the person that you wrote it to. You really got to pay attention nowadays, because, you know, I mean, don't wait like 3 months after you write a check. I would check it like a couple of weeks when it should have already cashed. Then you look and go, all right, it got to that destination. We've had people report that they put the mail actually in the post office and their check was washed. No, I don't know where it's getting taken from, whether it's where it was getting delivered or somewhere in the post office, but it's a big thing that's going on now. I read reports about it almost every day. So just watch your checking accounts. If you have to write checks and you're going to mail them, make sure you check your account. And this, if someone calls you up saying they're a police officer and your relative's arrested and they want bail money, that's another scam. Okay, there's so many scams out there, and I say it every month. They target the elderly, and a lot of the elderly, I hate to say it, fall victim to this, and substantial amounts of money. I'm talking $40,000, $50,000 they're getting from these people. So, you know, you really got to pay attention. I think the banks are starting to get on board when people want to come out and take like $10,000. They start questioning a little bit more, because these people are emptying their life savings and they're getting scammed out of this money by these people that are just ruthless. This is just a thing, if you want to take a picture of this, I copied this from one of the organizations that sent something out about scams. So, you know, anyone asks you to download a software on your computer, don't do it. A police or government official, I just spoke about that, wants bail, no good. Withdraw money and buy gift cards or cryptocurrency or gold. Believe it or not, people do this. It's hard to believe, but they go and they go to these crypto ATMs they have, and they take the money or they're putting money into it, and it's this big scam. Yeah, police or government official ask you to lie. If someone calls you and says it's some type of official or they're with the bank fraud department and they somehow want you to lie about something, scam. Again, transfer the money to the Bitcoin ATM, scam. Or if they send someone to your house, we're going to pick up a large sum of money. You know, you got to take care of this problem with your computer. You know, we're investigating you for money laundering is one of them, and they want to take your money and make it safe. They have these people emptying out like their whole savings. And no, yeah, and it's as sad as it sounds, it's terrible. I feel so bad for these people, but you know, they're losing so much money. So just be aware of all this stuff that's going on. Call the police. You know, you can report it to the FBI. We're having a couple of events coming up. Coffee with a cop, that's always good. Not usually that greatly attended. I mean, the meeting's good. If you want coffee, come on down. So yeah, here, this is at the Assembly of God Church, okay, in New York Avenue in Huntington. Pastor Dan runs that. He's a real great guy. He's one of our ambassadors for the precinct. He usually comes to the meetings, but I'm sure he'll be there. So come on down, have coffee with us, meet the new command staff. They like coffee, so it'll be good. And then apparently Assemblyman Brown is having coffee with Keith, so that's pretty cool. You can talk to the Assemblyman about some even bigger problems, whatever. So that's he's got a couple of them coming on, so if you want to take a photo with that, or go ahead, let me know. May 10th, well, that passed already. You got June 14th and July 12th. Okay. Operation Medicine Cabinet. This is for people, if you have old prescription meds and you don't know what to do with them. We have these programs set up where you can come and drop off all your old meds. Instead of flushing it, they don't want you to flush it or throw it in the garbage or whatever. Just bring it to us and we'll take care of it the right way. These are different times and dates. One of them is actually here, May 13th. Oh, today. That's today. I wish I could have got this out earlier. It could have killed two birds with one stone, right? So we got a couple coming up. What do we got? May 14th. That's South Huntington Library. May 21st, half Hollow Hills. So a couple. If you need to get rid of meds, you can do it here. Okay? See Alyssa in the back. She runs it. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Over here. Sorry. So this is the next meeting. June 3rd at the South Huntington Library, 7 p.m. If you want to attend that, it's tonight. We like to do day, night. We're always going to do the day meetings here now. They've been generous enough, the library, to host the meetings here. Everybody seems to like it here, so I like it here too. It's good. It's easy for everybody to get to, I believe. You know, you got actually windows you can look out, so it's pretty nice. And then we have a presentation by the Crime Victim Center. It's not Grace, it's Amanda. If you want to stick around, she's going to talk about some crime victim stuff. I'm sure it'll be very informative for anybody who has been a victim of a crime. Okay, so I think that's it for me. I'll take questions right now. Go ahead. Next meeting here? Next meeting is, no, it's at the South Huntington Library. That's 7 p.m.
You know what the next meeting here be?
Oh, that, what are we, May, June, July? Yeah, July, I don't.
Second, I think.
The second? Yeah. It's usually the first Tuesday. They didn't have the first Tuesday available this month here, that's why we pushed it back a week. But it's usually always the first Tuesday, either here or at the South Huntington one. Every other month, it's back and forth. Try to be fair. Question?
The first slide that you showed, 2024 figures.
Yes.
Were those for the entire year versus 2025, that is for the
Year to date, yeah. So,
they're both year to date?
yes.
Comparing apples to apples.
Exactly,
Thank you.
yes. Yes, okay.
Nothing good comes of the activity in the parking lot that's across from Assembly Drive, that's behind the first store. Family Dollar, you know it.
Yeah, we're very aware of that.
You're right. Anything be done to cut down on some of the people that hang out there or meet there? There's a lot of cars that meet and take off, you know, it's a
Okay.
meeting place also. But
Yeah.
it's nothing good comes from it over there.
Maybe we could talk to the property owner about getting some cameras. I don't know if he has cameras back there, but maybe that would help.
Joe at the pizzeria tried doing things about it. He had to take the trees down.
Right.
Set up like a
Yeah.
little tent city. They're still there. They're there this morning. But the point is, nothing good comes of it. I mean, some people, they're down on their luck.
No, I understand.
They have nowhere to go. It's an awful thing, but
The other thing we could do is perhaps get behavioral health out to actually talk to some of the people there. We've had some success with that before. The difficulty is obviously the problem of homelessness is related to
Yeah.
drug abuse and to mental illness. So it's a trifold problem, and we have to approach it from different ways. We can't enforce our way out of problems anymore. We have to employ multiple resources that are available to us to actually address the issue. So perhaps in addition to some enforcement, we'll maybe have behavioral science actually, or health go out and visit with some of these people and offer some services.
We actually have done that in the past. I know Alyssa's been down there. They offer these people help. Sometimes they don't want it. A lot of times we can't, well, a lot of times we can't force them, you know, so they have certain rights, unfortunately. But we could, I mean, we're down there all the time. Sergeant Casey and his team, that's one of their regular stops every day. We do the best we can as far as that, you know. If we could do maybe another outreach, we could try that.
We have the church too,
Yeah.
that a lot of us go to, which is open from 10 to 2. So
Yeah.
before and after hours,
You get in touch with Goalie or Sergeant Goalie and try to get some people.
yes. Yeah, we do homeless outreach and we bring the social services there and then, our behavioral health unit has like there.
It's rough, we used to be able to walk, you know, the dog. I walk that neighborhood all the time, but I don't go through there. I don't have Lou to go for a slicer anymore because it's become also, you know, we talk about nursing, it's a Department of Health, the human race school.
The high-rise clothes.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, some of the people are, like I said, they're very down on the but others meet there for other things. Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, you can see it. It's just so obvious, but okay.
Thank you.
No problem. We're aware of that problem. Go ahead.
I live in a community which is really quite nice. However, the speeding in the community has become a real problem. People are being knocked to the ground trying to get away from speeding cars. Stop signs are merely suggestions. They go right through stop signs.
What location? Just give me the location.
It's, well,
All the way to what?
a no top.
Oh, okay.
It's
You got it?
Drogan.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, we'll send,
No, it's not very,
That's
yes, that's,
it's gotten to be, someone's gonna get killed.
Southdown? Okay, no problem. We'll get Sergeant Casey to go down there, see if we can help out.
I mean,
Yeah.
it-
The problem is we go down and we do enforcement and it's temporarily solves the problem. But we'll go there and maybe it'll get the message, sometimes it helps a little.
Specifically, it's Reed Drive and Preston Street.
Preston? Okay.
Yes, Preston Street
She's got it.
has like a meandering turn and
Okay.
then it goes straight. Well, as soon as the meandering turn is finished, they just
Take
run it.
off.
I mean,
Okay.
60 miles an hour in a
Yeah, that's not right. No, I understand.
It's,
Okay.
as you're going towards Lord Harbor on Southdown Road,
Yeah,
on the right-hand side, there's a pretty large residential area called Drohan Woods.
okay.
And I had just had surgery where I have a massive problem here. And almost ran me over.
Yeah,
And I
it's
tried to
crazy.
say something to the kid, and then I went around and talked to her father. And, they deny it. Well, she
Sure.
almost knocked me over.
Yeah, you know it was them. I get it.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I fall, that's the end of me.
So if there's stop signs, we could definitely do enforcement on that. We could try speed, but sometimes it's difficult. If it's a windy road, it's hard to set up the radar for that. But
Yeah.
we'll
But
go
maybe
down there.
if
We'll go
they
down there,
see
no
more-
problem.
More police cars, around, they'll see that they might get caught.
It's a very nice area. That's
It is a
probably why
very
you don't see us a lot, but we can go down
Still,
there. Don't worry about
Even
it.
though it's a nice area, we've learned.
No, I understand.
somebody
I understand. No problem.
seriously hurt.
Okay, that's not a problem. Go ahead, sir. What do you got?
I live in the Eaton's Neck, and last Friday, down at Hobart Beach, which happens once in a while, some people went down with their cars and were doing donuts for quite a while.
Okay, yeah.
It happens once in a while, and it's quite dangerous.
Yeah, I actually saw it down there. I was down there like a week ago. I saw all the donuts, so yeah. That's supposed to be locked at night. I don't know why they don't lock it.
That's the thing, I believe there was a meeting a year ago or so, where Huntington agreed to put in a gate.
They did,
Was
yeah.
put in a new gate. And I believe there was also agreed that it would be closed on a nightly basis, which isn't happening.
Okay.
So if it was in fact closed, the gate, then a car wouldn't have been able to get in there. And also the cameras down there at Hobart Beach, I believe, I've been told that they don't even work. So there's no
Okay.
way to have any record or to be able to catch somebody or get a license plate if the cameras are not working or being monitored.
Those are town cameras?
I honestly, I'm not 100%
They're
positive
probably.
of that.
I would say, yes.
But it's.
Yeah, they're not affiliated with the police, so.
They're not.
Yeah, that would have.
So what would be the best approach?
The town needs to be approached and basically make sure that the cameras are up in operation.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
that-
regarding the gate, what would you say the best approach is to make sure that that's being closed at night?
100%, and that's also a town issue as well, because they need to lock the gate. That's, not passing the buck, but I want to make sure that we direct it where it's supposed to be directed.
Okay, thank you.
Got it.
Go ahead.
I'd like to get Sweet Hollow Road back on the radar a little bit.
Sweet Hollow again?
Yeah, it's, someone overheard at a deli not too long ago that there were some people in there getting breakfast and how they race down the road, they time, one at a time, and see who can break the speed.
Wow.
And we know that
That's
that's not
new.
a road for that.
No, absolutely not. That road's crazy, yeah.
And the other thing is too, I believe that there's a limit as far as trucks.
Trucks, yeah.
But the trucks are using it as such a shortcut, and they're large, and they're flying through there, and that's causing a whole other thing. So maybe some enforcement with the,
We could try that, yeah.
sign though, if I'm coming in heading north, not so sure, I was looking last time I.
Commercial vehicle sign? Yeah, I'll have to look at it because I don't remember if there was one or not. I've been down that road several times after, you've complained,
And I
so.
will touch base, I guess, if Scott at this town also.
Sure, yeah, as long as they post it good, they're probably coming off Jericho. I heard Waze sends them that way sometime. I don't know why, but that's not a road a truck should be on.
The traffic is unbelievable, nobody even knew the road exists, but it's all about the GPS and the.
Yeah, I heard that was part of the problem too. But we could do enforcement again. I think it was on last month, the site team was down at Sweet Hollow. So this month they probably moved somewhere else. Yeah, they're almost down there all the time. It's hard though.
All this little stuff helps.
That's a tough road for speed enforcement only because it's so windy. It's tough, so, but they can find other stuff, no problem. Yes.
I'm Karen from Legislative Doctor's Office. Welcome. Let's have you over June 3rd. Couple quick questions. The gang-related assault arrest, that's not a third from the assault, that's one of the two assaults. You said there were two assaults in the month of April arrests?
Yeah,
The one with, and there
that's
was-
probably one of the two.
One of the two, so there weren't
Yes,
three.
yeah,
That
no.
was-
The gang member was arrested for assault. It wasn't a gang assault.
Yeah.
It was a gang member who was arrested for assault,
And
third
that was
degree.
one of the two assaults, that was.
Yes,
that-
yes.
Okay, and also the shot spotter activation on the 11th, well,
Mhm.
certainly we don't like there to be any incident.
Right.
Happy that you had that tool in your toolbox for the shot spotter.
That's good.
Would you say that because it was a shot spotter activation, you were, you went to that site not just investigating an accident, you went to that site knowing, looking for shell casings? Did that help?
Yeah, I believe
you?
there were 911 calls also on the gunshots.
Oh, there were, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. But we're glad shot spotter worked.
yeah, I mean, 3:30 in the morning, but you start hearing gunshots, a lot of people picking up the phone.
We
So.
do get a lot of false
Yeah.
negatives with that, okay? It's not a perfect system. It's good and it helps us, and they should conduct an investigation, Val and I just came from two busier precincts in the 3rd and the 1st, where we have a lot more shot spotter activations, and the percentages aren't good. But it does, when they go to these shot spotter activations, they're required, the officer, to actually search for shell casings, look to the term. A lot of
Bless you.
times it's just, backfire of a car. And usually we find that when it's in a specific location, if it's next to an automotive shop or something of that nature, which will give these false positives.
We were in all three of your precincts.
Yeah, I know
We're
you
1,
are.
2, and 3, so.
I'm sure you heard it before.
I just spoke to someone at the town, and they will look at the Hobart Beach meeting.
Hobart, okay, thank you. Perfect. Yes, in the way back, and then we'll take the,
My
okay.
concern is I live within walking distance on Broadway.
Okay,
And I'm outside quite a bit, and the speeders on Broadway in either direction is getting to be a racetrack.
okay.
Whether it be motorcycles or trucks, and there doesn't seem to be any enforcement or any deterrent for these drivers. And I was just hoping that someday, someone might be able to report possibly park on the side road inconspicuously and witness some of these ridiculous speeds that are taking place. Because
Okay.
eventually, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, last year we were down there, we got a complaint, I think it might have even been from the Civic Association. So we'll go down there again. Again, I'm gonna tell you that I'll send the highway team down there too. But, you know, while they're there, you'll have compliance, but when they leave, it's not just Broadway, it's everywhere in Suffolk County. It's a big concern.
Maybe if they could just park, say, on one.
No, we'll do enforcement down there, but what I'm trying to say is, it's not just we're here. Everywhere in Suffolk County. It's one of the big things our police commissioner is trying to address is, you know, traffic problems, V&T problems, vehicle and traffic law violations. So again, our guys are doing a terrific job here because our numbers are up from last year. I push them as hard as I can. We will go down there and we'll do some speed enforcement. That one we can do because it's pretty much a straightaway. So, but we'll go down there. I know, once it opens up, it's everywhere. And, you know, summer, they got motorcycles and it's tough.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm with the Civic Association and the chairman of the traffic safety committee. So we are working on a project, we got money from the county, and we're working on a project to try to slow down traffic on Broadway here. And it's probably there's gonna be a public meeting maybe in the summer, I'm not entirely sure. But the work is expected to happen next year, and the idea is to basically, we might be putting a median in north of West Maple to slow down traffic, to sort of take a straightaway out, to force it to slow down. There's going to be all kinds of different mechanisms to make the walkway safer. You know, I think one is like a beacon, you know, you push the button and the flash will be, you know, do some other things. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out. There's still some design work going on, but there should be by fall next year, we should have something different out there. So the whole idea is to slow down so you know. Most of that reevaluation take place within a certain perimeter? Yeah, so I think it's from Sanders down to, I think just south of the train tracks. I don't know if it goes down Road or down Valley Road, but I forget exactly. It's going to be south of the train tracks. Thanks.
Another question? Go ahead.
So this is kind of where camera technology comes in. Like it or not, you know, it's already out there in some parts of our state, in some parts of New Jersey, and in other states around the United States, where vehicles are multiply tracked, and you know, if it's 65, you're going to do a 90, you know, they're going to send you a ticket in the mail. And the police officers off the street chasing after these speeders.
Yeah, no, that's a solution, but like that's a legislative thing that they have to come up with. So I'm not opposed to it, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Voters don't want it.
Well, you know, you're in public.
No, I hear you, but I just think it's you saw they took out the, what do you call it, the cameras around here. The county voters don't want them.
That was a bit of corruption, but that's generally my vote. My other point, one of the arguments is a scam scenario, and I don't know you guys, there's two sets of digits on the bottom of the check. One is your account number and the bank routing number.
Right.
And anybody, because I'm not a big believer in debit cards either. I learned years back that, you know, there's some flaws and problems with those. Credit card is the safer option.
Credit card,
And
okay.
back on the, unless the bank has voice recognition technology and they have previously recorded your voice, anybody can take those two sets of numbers and pay their bill.
Yep. Well, that's kind of why I mentioned the whole check thing, because if you keep a close eye on your checking account, hopefully you won't become a victim. Yes.
Some stop signs, I see these red flags that are somehow attached to the stop sign.
Red flags?
There's, it's Greenlawn Road, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Green Lawn Road? Well, is that,
Greenlawn, Dunlop, right.
is it an official part of the sign, or is it?
Yes, yes, there's like two red flags.
those are fairly new stop signs.
That's
Machine
just an indicator that there's a stop sign to get somebody to look at it earlier.
Well, I think something like that.
I mean, I've seen a lot of these speed, like they monitor the speed as you're going certain roads. They have that. Well, I like that. That's a good thing because then you actually realize, wow, I'm going too fast. I got to slow down. I mean, that's in a way.
We have that on spring.
Yeah, it's, listen, it's an ongoing problem with the whole traffic. We're doing everything we can, to try and basically solve the problem, but I don't know if it's a solvable problem, but like I said, we'll send people to these locations and we'll issue summonses. Whether or not it'll take care of the problem for good, I would probably say no, but I mean, we don't mind going out there issuing summonses. We have special people that do that. And that's the point of these meetings too, is that I get that feedback because I don't always know that you're having a problem in your particular community. So it's nice that you came out, sir, to let me know about that stuff over there. So she has everything written down. Now we're aware of these places. Sweet Hollow Road, I know that's a constant. You don't even have to mention it because it's just one of the places that we always have to, monitor. That road's crazy. But yeah, so like people coming here and giving me information helps me and helps us do our job. So thanks for coming. I appreciate it. We'll try to do everything we can with these traffic issues. Is there anyone else? I don't want to hold Amanda here. She's been waiting to do her presentation. So last question then, sir?
I just have one more thing.
Yeah.
I live on the street that leads down to the Center Point Yacht Club.
Okay.
There's a stop sign on that street also.
Okay.
Nobody ever seems to stop.
What's the street? On Little Neck?
It's off from Little Neck. It's more a hopper down to the Center Point Yacht Club.
Do you know the intersection? Could you?
Mora Hop and Beach Plum.
Beach Plum and,
Mora Hop.
okay.
The bigger issue this year is nobody stops there.
Nobody
They fly
stops.
through.
No problem,
There's
okay.
a gentleman right on Mora Hoppa who's taken it up to slow down traffic. And when people don't stop, he yells out very loudly.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Delete that.
It will, don't worry.
He also spanks the people that stop as well. So you got on both sides.
Oh, well, wow.
There's going to be some confrontation at some point.
Yeah, no, I don't recommend that.
Yeah, you should tell him to stop doing it.
Yeah. Let us go down it. Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
He's frustrated. I get it. We'll go down there.
Everybody's a little bit, there's a lot of little kids in the area. There's a lot of
I understand.
little kids in the area. And this has always been, with the lifeguards racing down, they're late, with people coming back, that they maybe had a few too many drinks and don't recognize their speed.
Yeah.
Driving,
Is there a time of day that it is more frequent or all day?
all day, especially in the summer, after Memorial Day when the yacht club is going. But he's interesting. I hear him yelling from the house. He's a lovely man.
Okay. Well, we'll try and ease his pain. I'm going to move on. You have something?
I do.
Oh, last one. Only because it's you. Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you got?
We had talked about that the commissioner, when he did his press conference, he mentioned about quality of life issues, that he had a great kind of a program directly working with Babylon, Town Village or Town of Babylon,
Okay.
regarding like the noise disturbances and how public safety could maybe work together
Sure.
a little bit better. So I know I brought it to your attention. I was wondering if there was any kind of update on that, if you had got any information about what he was talking about specifically, because it's all starting.
I can only comment that we have a really great relationship with Huntington Town Public Safety.
Yeah.
And anytime there's issues brought up, we haven't had a lot of those noise complaints. This was like a car meet with speakers that are like as big as this stanchion here going on in a parking lot behind a building somewhere. This is an ongoing problem. I think Mike could probably talk about it because it was his precinct. So that was something they had to target that. I haven't had those complaints here yet, and I'm hoping not to, but I'm sure if we do, I'll have the town involved with it, and we can work together to solve that problem.
So it wasn't like loud parties that he was talking about then? That's what I was hoping.
No.
What he's
Good.
primarily talking about is there's multiple approach. One is the street racing task force that you saw was put together. One of our officers, Brendan Gallagher, unfortunately was seriously injured dealing with a situation like that. We have issues, obviously, with the bail reform laws that are actually preventing us from keeping some of these people in jail. But we're working with the county legislators to seize a lot of these vehicles that are involved in these street racing task force takeovers. What you're referring to, I think, is the park and ride
Okay, so
music.
that's what he was talking about.
Okay, there is county law now that we can actually seize a lot of those speakers that are actually causing a lot of problems. If you've ever been behind them, even in a parade room, it's the sound is just extraordinarily loud. So we do have some tools now to be able to address that, but unfortunately we don't have them here like what we have them in some other precincts.
Gotcha.
As far as working with the town, each town public safety, Babylon, maybe Captain Simcox can talk about that because he's dealt with them, is different than the town of Huntington. And as long as you have a cooperative group that's willing to work with you in a cooperative effort, you can really accomplish anything.
Town of Babylon, they created their own summons book, which was really user-friendly for the cops and addressed a lot of quality of life issues. Noise, drinking in public. And it just made it, really just made it easier for the cops to issue the ticket. So you can see more tickets written because it was just a more accessible, friendlier way to do business for the cops.
Okay, so would you mind setting up an appointment to meet with the Town of Huntington Director of Public Safety, who's pretty new?
Yeah,
to talk about all
yeah.
that, because
We'll
we're getting into crazy time in
Yeah,
the Town of Huntington.
each town, Smithtown's different from Huntington, which is different from Babylon, which is different from Iceland. And I know there was a coordinated effort on the part of the upper command staff to meet with many town officials. But then again, there's also, they have constraints too. How are they gonna hire people to work with us at certain times? Because most of these issues occur after hours.
Right.
So there's an expense associated with it. So that's also a consideration. So there's a bunch of them, but I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, because like the music, the parties, they go crazy, you call the town
Listen,
says,
when we were here the
"Well,
last
police,
time, when I was
takes
here the
5
last time,
hours."
that was an issue.
Yeah, it's like a huge problem, and it seems like it could be fixable with a communication improvement somehow. Okay, thank you.
On the agenda.
Great.
All right. Let me bring up Amanda. She's been waiting patiently, and she's going to do her presentation with crime victims. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, okay.
I mean, I'm pretty loud, but if you want me to use a microphone, I certainly can.
Clip it to your, yeah, this
All
one
right.
echoes really bad.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
So my name is Amanda Jesser, so I'm the Director of Prevention and Development over at the Crime Victim Center. So we're a certified rape crisis center through the Department of Health. We're also a OCFS, so Office of Children and Family Services, non-residential domestic violence service provider as well. We do a variety of different things. We're really divided up into 3 main categories. So we have education, which I oversee that entire department. We're going out within Nassau and Suffolk County schools from pre-K all the way on up through 12th grade to make sure students are aware of their rights, their resources. We're working directly with the school districts to make sure that kids get a lot of vital education. We're working with the parents and community members. We have a whole entire college program as well, so within Suffolk County. So we work with the majority of colleges and universities throughout Suffolk County to make sure students are informed of their rights and resources under things like Title IX, Enough is Enough. They know how to get connected to support if something is going on their campus. And then we do a lot of education for parents and community members as well. We also have a sex offender management program. So that department is made up entirely of retired law enforcement who go out within Nassau and Suffolk County to verify individuals on the Megan's Law sex offender registry. With that, we run a free email alert program. So that's something that you can sign up with your zip code and your email, and you'll be notified anytime a sex offender moves into the community. And we run a tips program as well. So with that, if you have a concern about a registered sex offender that's in your community who maybe you're worried that they're not in compliance, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if you call us, we have a 24-hour hotline. You can call our office. Our team of retired law enforcement, they actually investigate it. And then any viable leads, they'll refer over to the appropriate parties, be it in law enforcement, probation, parole. And then finally, we also have the Crime Victim Center portion of the agency. So we're known as the county's Crime Victim Center. What that means is we receive police reports directly from Suffolk PD, and we reach out proactively to victims of crime to inform them of their rights and resources. So some of those things could be things like accompaniment to the hospital when it comes to something like a sexual assault forensic exam. So we actually have a whole team of nurse examiners and rape crisis counselors. I'm one of the rape crisis counselors, as well as a whole team, and we'll respond directly to hospitals and make sure that sexual assault victims, they understand their rights and the resources that they're entitled to, and we get them connected to support. We also do a whole training program as well for nursing staff, so that way they can actually get certified to be a sexual assault forensic examiner. Other things we do, we work directly through the Office of Victim Services. So the Office of Victim Services, they are a state agency located in Albany, and they help to reimburse for essential personal property expenses and certain expenses related to a crime. So think things like medical expenses. Say if you have, after a crime, you have to go to therapy and you're worried about your co-pays, right? Or you have certain items stolen from you as a result of the crime. These are things that we can help to get reimbursed. So we work directly, anytime we have a victim we're working with, we conduct an intake. We're really trying to assess what are their needs that they're going through right now. We help them to do the OVS application so they can get that reimbursement, hopefully lessen the load, for a crime in terms of what they have to deal with, and get them connected to support. We have free counseling services through our agency. They're all state licensed treatment providers. We work with children as well as adults. And it's free short-term as well as long-term counseling. If for some reason we're located in Ronkonkoma, if it doesn't make sense for somebody to come to our office for counseling, we'll help them to find a counselor that will accept OVS payment. We also can help to file things like orders of protection. So say somebody is dealing with a domestic violence related issue, we will help to file the temporary order of protection. We will go with them to the, if they want to go to the police or if they want to go to court, we actually do that kind of accompaniment. We do that medical accompaniment. And then when we're working with individuals, we're trying to not only assess what are your needs related to the crime, but are there certain other stressors that you're also dealing with. So say, for example, somebody experiences a crime, during the intake process, if say they're also dealing with food insecurity, that should also come up, right? So we're gonna be able to assess that and give them the appropriate referrals. So all the time we're constantly adding referrals to our resource list and just trying to make sure people understand the rights and resources. The resources we have bilingual advocates on staff, so bilingual Spanish-speaking advocates on staff, but we do also have access to the language line as well. So we can help in over 170 additional languages. All the services, the crime victim support, that's all completely free. All the Megan's Law support is completely free. And like I said, if it's something that we don't directly assist with, we make sure that person gets connected to whatever support that they deserve and they're entitled to. So that's kind of, in a short, little brief intro of my organization. There's probably a ton more things that I forgot, but if anybody has any questions about any of the support services, I can certainly answer them. I do also have brochures, which I'll leave on the table over there, so I'll put them out before I leave, but if there's any questions, I can certainly answer. Okay. Yes.
So if, like, for instance, someone was assaulted, stabbed, or something like that, do you guys automatically go to the hospital too, or does that, like, someone in that situation have to reach out to you?
So generally, if they file the police report, then we would receive that, and then we could reach out to that victim.
So do you know?
We do, yeah, no, we do reach out to the victims, yeah.
We've encountered some crime victims in our community where it's like, clearly you should be getting help here.
Right.
And then they have no idea about you guys.
So yeah, so we do reach out to the victims. For every single police report we get, we do make multiple attempts. And then if for some reason, say for some reason they don't accept the help right then and there, or they, don't get back to us, we can always reopen it later on. So say, if you know of a particular person, I would encourage you, if you give them our information, they can reach out, and I can certainly make sure that an advocate gets in touch with them.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. And like I said, it's, we're really just trying to, make sure that people are supported, especially in moments when they're extremely vulnerable, and just making sure that they get the support they need. With OVS, we deal with the criteria of it's anybody who's a victim of a violent crime, or anybody who's elderly, minor, disabled victim of any kind of crime. So we even assist with things like property crimes, some of the scams that he was talking about before. We'll reach out to some of those folks to make sure that they understand their rights. We can help to file reimbursement, but there are certain limits in terms of what they're able to get back, unfortunately. When catalytic converters, that was a huge thing when they were getting stolen a couple years ago. We were working with crime victims to, say they put in the claim with their auto insurance, but they have say a $500 deductible. We can submit that to OVS to hopefully get that covered. So say it's like an elderly person, they just got their catalytic converter stolen, we're gonna get the $500 deductible covered for them. So that way at least it hopefully lessens the load in terms of what they have to deal with. But like I said, we have really great support staff, and the services are completely free. We're either reaching out proactively, but people can also come out and reach out to us themselves. We're getting calls from the community all the time, and we'll help them as best we can. We also have 24-hour hotlines as well. So those are staffed day and night. It's rape crisis, domestic violence, as well as just general crime hotlines. They're always staffed by a trained rape crisis counselor. So these are, they're specifically trained to be trauma informed and be able to connect that individual to the appropriate support that they need in that moment. And then we always follow up with those individuals as well to make sure that they're connected to further support.
And what if they're a crime victim and they didn't file a police report?
So we have had, so say for example, in the case of like a sexual assault victim, frequently those individuals, they don't want to file a police report. We're still able to assist them. Yeah, it's going to depend on the type of crime. Certain crimes, OVS really wants them to, be participating in the criminal justice process, but obviously with certain crimes they do understand it can be extremely difficult for, say, a sexual assault victim to come forward, so we could still get help. But even if it's something where we can't get OVS help, we'll try to get other assistance as well. We have a very great referral database that's in our portfolio to work with. So if, say, one kind of resource doesn't work, we're going to get them a different kind of resource. Yeah.
I feel like the officer should carry a brochure. No, really, because there's so many times where incidents happen, the officers respond, and maybe it's not something that they could do anything about, but in reality you were victimized.
Right.
So then they could leave behind at least the brochure to say, here's a resource
Right.
to help you.
No, I think that's a great idea. I know, at least from our agency standpoint, we do conduct drop-offs all the time to the different police precincts. So frequently when you see the brochures that are in the front,
Yes.
our brochures will be there. And a lot of the local legislators, they will also carry our brochures in their offices as well. I think I saw another hand before.
What's the name of your organization?
The Crime Victim Center. Sometimes people know us as Parents for Megan's Law. That's our old name, but it's the Crime Victim Center.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Percentage-wise, do you have any idea how many police victims that you actually do get in contact with, or you can't tell?
I don't know as a percentage, because we're not the only agency that's in the county that does this kind of work. There is a few different other agencies. I do know we've had a very good success rate, and I think to date we've actually delivered back over, I think it's close to $8 million back to crime victims through OVS, and that's just with our program. But I don't know an exact percentage. I believe it's also been, it's over 40,000 victims I know we've served since the program developed. But yeah, I don't have a better percentage, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. And I'll just put out some brochures over there, so if anybody wants some, feel free to grab. Thank you.